Got it.
Okay, Chris. Hey, if I was a new agent in the business and everybody talks about luxury markets, how does an agent that's new to the business or somebody that's already in the business get into the luxury segment of the industry? How do they do it?
Another part of that question is even can they? Are they able in which to get into it? And the answer to me is yes, they certainly can. I think number one starts with knowledge, though. You have to understand the luxury market and what that means. You know, some people get googly eyed. They go into a house and it's beautiful and everything, but you have to look at it through the eyes of what that buyer is as well. Right. So you might be used to doing $300,000 houses. You walk into $1 million one and say, oh my God, this thing is unbelievable. And we'll be able to sell this like no problem. And you don't recognize where the issues are for the right buyer. So I think acknowledging knowledge. How about that? Because that's what a lot of people, I think, forget. Typically, it takes years and years and years in which to be able to get to it, and kind of mistakes and screwing up. But if you want to break into it quicker, I would try to get every bit of knowledge you possibly could. Because if you actually look at the realtors, and I always thought this when I was kind of growing up, I'd look at these other realtors like, oh my God, they know so much, and they're the smartest people in the world. In reality, they're normal people that went through the same exact things that you're going through right now. And most people are scared to talk to them when they're no problem. So I would kind of dive into some of the luxury agents and help them out somehow. Be a gopher.
You're funny because you're kind of going after the same thing I was kind of going to run after, is just like if you want to learn how to become a fisherman, you know, you hire that pro guide, let them take you out, observe what they do, how they do it, what they do. And what you realize is there's finesse in everything they do. They are very strategic. They don't just go out on the lake and guess. They know based on water temperature, how deep the fish are, where they are, meaning in the summertime, if you're not out on the golf course or at the tennis club or at the whatever, you're probably not going to see the fish that you're looking to become or the fish you're looking for, right? So hanging out at the right places, hanging out with the right kind of people, becoming part of that crowd is very important, because I think a lot of people that are in that market, they want to do business with other people that are in that market. They don't want to feel like, hey, this agent I hired is kind of janky and I'm worried that they're going to rob me. You know, it's like you want to have somebody that's part of your inner circle or part of that. And sometimes that means investing into that, where you're actually part of that. Maybe you get involved in the association that sells luxury houses. Maybe you get involved with other agents that, you know, brainstorm on how to market luxury homes, accreditations, you know, all those things that all go into, you know, being around it can create it.
Yeah. I think too, as younger people might have some marketing initiatives that are really good, and they just can't break into the bigger houses because they don't have the experience in which to get them. So why don't you lend that creative marketing to somebody that's already in it? And then in turn, they'll give you back some of that experience that they've gained over time. I think there's a little disconnect that everyone thinks you should just have to do it. And I mean, someone comes to me and just, you know, hey, Chris, I really want you to help me with this, and, you know, take time away from your family and, you know, your other business and help me out. It just doesn't work like that. You need to kind of be able to offer something. And it might be, you know what, hey, I know you're doing an open house. Why don't I put all your arrows out and I'll add a few more and I'll do 10 of them and I'll take them down for you. I'll get the lights on, take them off. Could I just sit in there with you and just watch it? And then, you know what, I'll post it to my social media and I'll kind of really try to kind of get this thing moving. I think you'll get a lot of excitement from agents that would love that.
Absolutely. Not only that, but I think that, Chris, too, so learning that experience, being around it creates that opportunity. What about when you're actually with the client that's in that category, a luxury buyer, a luxury seller, playing the part and understanding what your role is, what level of service you need to deliver, I think you know what, that person that is successful probably is successful for a reason. They know how money works. They know how, what customer service is like, because they've bought the best of the best or experienced the best of the best. So you have a very, high level of service that's going to be required. You know, like I would say, the Ritz-Carlton experience, like what are you doing for that person that makes them feel like, boy, this agent was fantastic, right? And thinking that through from the beginning to the end is really important.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. Understanding it, because most of those people are in positions that they're delegating things and having other people do things that they don't. So they might have a marketing department, they might have a human resources area that they rely on versus trying to do it all. And that's exact same thing they want with an agent. So when you go in, it's all about confidence and then setting the narrative and not just doing everything they say. You can't just do everything they say, because then they'll take advantage of you. You have to show that you are the professional, you know what you're doing, that their job is to delegate to you. And the other part is you don't give it away. A lot of people think you have to give it away, and people are willing to pay for service, and they're really willing to pay for good service.
Agreed.
And also in that upper bracket market, 100 grand can go like that. I mean, if you don't know how to price it and you haven't prepared it properly, you can lose a lot of money. And I think those people understand that. And I also think that people in that price point understand that I bought this house because I did enjoy it. So it's not like you have to look at what we do at a $300,000 house and say, oh my gosh, it's 350. You're going to pay 6%. That's 318. I mean, okay, let's try to push it a little higher, to get you your money back. It's kind of like, hey, this is the price. This is what it is. And here's the fee in which to be able to sell it. We got to get it done and make it as less painful as you can. But you got to have they got to feel the confidence in you.
Oh, I think that's probably the number one thing. Like I've observed over the years, a lot of my very successful executives that have that look, the cold stare, right? The just look right through you as they're sitting there. And silence can be golden, but I'll tell you what, don't let that scare you, intimidate you. As you're dealing with a customer, they're feeling, like you said, Chris, they're feeling you out. They're checking you. They're doing their own check on you, just like they'd be interviewing a new employee or a new person to work, colleague, whatever. They're checking on you too. Understand that it is an interview. It's important for you to be confident, be focused on what you're going to do for them, like you said. And like you said, I really liked it when you said that they have to delegate to you. So take the pressure off of them, let them understand what you do, and then your negotiating style that you're presenting to them works very well in today's market. And like you said, and if it doesn't, boom, all of a sudden off the top of your sale, you could lose 100 grand because I'm not a good negotiator. So being that's the case, I think it's a different, maybe a little different of a presentation to a luxury market seller or buyer. But at the end of the day, it's all about customer service.
And I think I would be really open to maybe bringing someone with me. So if it was my first opportunity to get a luxury type listing, and to define luxury, it's the top 10% of what that market is. So it can be different in different areas, but it's the top 10% of homes in that marketplace. But I wouldn't be afraid to bring someone in that has that experience and split it with them, learn from them. And because a lot of times when you first start, you get an opportunity and you fail. That's not a great way to do it. And so all of a sudden they fail and they give it to somebody else and they get it sold right away. It's not that Andy was trying to jump into that luxury market. Andy failed in that luxury market. Now it's going to be hard for him to get back in. So sometimes
I prefer if you use the bad examples with a different name, please.
Sorry.
Billy, let's use Billy.
I'm just
Billy,
reminding you of that one that you should have split with me, but you never did.
Billy is an idiot. He, oh my God, he showed up in flip flops as Billy. Had on a hula shirt. I don't know.
So if you want help, go to Andy. He'll help.